Hello everybody! Welcome to a new video! Today, I decided to change the dynamics a little bit. Yeah, because today is a lore video. But we're not going to be talking, about those typical things like the four shades, the noses, all that imaginary tree. I don't care about the shit, to be honest. Like, my brain is already very fried. So, we are going to talk specifically about the vision holders. But instead of talking about our, favorite and typical anime protagonist that everybody knows is a vision holder, and that because we already know a lot about them, have extensive amount of lore. And when I say extensive amount of lore, I mean a lot of lore that I don't know if we should care about it. But today we are going to be talking about the NPCs who have or had a vision. Yeah, not something a lot of people know, but I decided to talk it now since Natlan has been the nation who has, the most NPCs who have shown their vision.
Oh my god!
My Shayla.
My Shayla!
So, yeah,
Let the show begin!
First, let's talk about those NPCs which we could actually see their vision in their element. So, let's start with the first NPC who we actually saw, and we are talking none other than our big girl Rana. An applause, please, an applause. Yeah, you might already have, some PTSD when you saw her, her fighting against some mushrooms. Yeah, well, for some information, Rana is an exclusive NPC related to the Aranara quest. She is basically the door to our very large and lengthy demise when we meet her. After that, we help her defeating the mushrooms and some withering areas. And, well, after all, she is basically the forest ranger, so she decided to help us by going to the Bimara village. Obviously, after shopping some alligator meat. Great protein. Don't do it at home. After that, we obviously ended up hearing about some disappearing of children. The typical thing, let's just wish there's no, neither purple man in a yellow rabbit suit. Let's wait that doesn't happen. Again. After that, we cleaned some more withering zones until we saw a little child who's called Lothar going to a cave. Typical thing, I wanted to beat the okay, but okay. After that, we ended up going with Rana to defend him until we find him in a withering zone full of enemies. Thank God, he is good, he is healthy, but our dearest Rana, she's just a human after all, she doesn't have a vision yet, and she ended up very ill. But instead of going outside, taking some fresh air or a fucking aspirin, she decided to be left there, and she just like there. Okay, Diva, bye, I suppose. When we come back, we see that, oh my god, she's gone. Who might thought about it? Yes, she's gone. We ended up finding her after using some elemental scythe, like, Goku in the capsule. Well, she is like that. She was saved by Arana, who is an Aranara. Well, he's a good one because he basically saved her, but for cure her from this, I don't know, smoking gases. Like, girl, that's just New York. We need to find a Bija. Yeah, good luck having to do like 6-hour mission for that. Like, fucking use a Panadol, aspirin,
Ibuprofeno, what the fuck?
giving her this devil fruit. She wakes up from her coma, and she ended up remembering about Arana. Because for you to know, these Aranara, the adults can see them, but the child, when she was a child, she could see it. After waking up and remember this, a shiny things appear out of nowhere, and it's none other than a vision, a Dendro vision. Yay, our first 3-star character. Okay, but let's be honest. How the fuck she obtained it? Like, she didn't do anything. Like, she didn't even dream for it. She just got a vision because yes. Well, I mean, like Lisa asked for it and received it. Well, like if you don't have one, it's because the gods hate you. Okay. Our second vision NPC holder, oh well, our second vision NPC holder, oh well, seconds, since are three of them, are not that well known. That this guy appears in the second raiding quest. After entering the cave and while A is basically tweaking, three Yorikis appear out of nowhere.
Yeah, boy.
We have this guy who is Fukami, he has the electron vision, you can see it. There is Fujiki, the creation vision holder, and the other one who no one's know their name, who has an anemo. From what we know about them, well, obviously they are memories from the ley lines. They manifest due to the rift hounds bearing the roots of these ley lines, Yorikis from 500 years ago during the cataclysm, so yeah, they are dead. But at least we could see them defending the Raiden Shogun when, her control was disconnected. Continuing, let's start with the region that has shown the most NPCs with vision, Natlan. With our dearly abysmal girl, Atia. Ooh, she's one of the most renowned fighters of the people of the Springs, being a close friend to a lot of the heroes, even the Archon herself. Saving a lot of people during abysmal attacks. Unfortunately, she was impaled by a colossal enemy, I don't know how, letting her internal organs basically being fried with the beast. And it's sad, because one of her favorite things to do was, being in the hot springs, but unfortunately she couldn't do it anymore since it will just accelerate her death, like frying her organs even more. We can see in the Nala mission that she has a pyrovision. Unfortunately, when the abyss attacks again, she was wounded. We saved her from the present abyss corrosion, but unfortunately, her internal organs are very advanced and we couldn't do anything, saying that she will basically die in a few days. She greets both Malani the Traveler and finally Mawika, and she bathed a little bit in her last hot springs. We knew later in the mission that she had already died, encountering her for the last time as a soul fighting still against the abyss. Truly a hero. Sorry. You should shop honestly here. Okay, let's stop that bitchy ass shit. Let's continue with a different NPC who we ended up fighting. Well, Kachina fights. And it's Lilo. Even though she is wearing, the Ictomisaurus mask, the closest to the Master of the Night, she is from the people of the Springs, even being friends with Atia. She is wearing a cryovision, and even saw some of her attacks while we were fighting her. Apart from that, we don't know much of her. Not even she survived. But I mean, if normal people can, kick the shit out of monsters like this girl, surely she'll have survived the war. Finally, we have a bad Alpa. She is an elder from the Flower Feather clan. She failed the trials to fight for Kukusaurus, so a skill issue, becoming a wingless. Then, she had a son called Tepal. He also tried to fly but failed, also a skill issue. But he decided to fly anyways, creating a jetpack made of Phlogiston. Unfortunately, he died because, Phlogiston is just like lava. So Alpa decided to continue with experiments, but she knew that the Kukusaurus could make a stable Phlogiston. So she created a flying laboratory where she maintained a lot of Kukusaurs. When she made these jetpacks, we find her in the trial mission with Shaska. She ended up kidnapping the child of Shaska's sister. Yeah, Kukusaurus. A long story, okay. So you know that she's very fucked up, since even though her jetpacks could be a good thing, you're fucking an entire species just for that. We capture and know that she is in jail. It's funny since it's never mentioned how she obtained her vision, but with an animal vision, anybody can fly. These are all the NPCs with visions who are in the game, and that we have seen her vision. There are others who we never saw their vision, but they are still in game.
Wow.
Katsu's friends, who even though we never saw him in game, we know where his vision is. It can be easily robbed, okay, but let it there. He is an electro user, and he also saw how Kazuha used his vision just for a split second. For you to know, he died when we wanted to see, the
The Muso no Hitotachi.
Then there is this guy, Hanshiro, the guy who almost got his vision confiscated but Yoimiya gave him a fake one. We don't know his vision. Then there is Impact, a guy who we never saw him in game, has a vision thanks to this book. Basically a son of an aristocrat who has two brothers. One of them is illegitimate, so he wants to kill that two brothers who are legitimate. You know, the typical shit who happens in every, telenovela? Well, that. And finally, we have the NPCs whose visions were confiscated and maybe later return or maybe not. We have, the three guys in the Inazuma quest, basically knowing their whole life. There is Tehima, who was and is a samurai living in Konda village who said there to do a promise to a woman who, well, never came. Lost his vision, losing his ambition and memories. But after that, we ended up getting back after we defeat A and all the visions are getting back. Then there is this guy, Kurosawa, who is another one of these people who lost his vision. He is a Yoriki who held with a vision hunt decree until his own vision was stripped from him. Amazing, to be honest. When he lost his memories and the food he buys you give to the people, which is sad. And then, well, after defeating A, he grants also him that he probably get it back. And finally, we have Daman, who is the master of this war, who lost his vision, but instead of, losing his memory, he starts seeing, things, like his father, his sensei, and another guy. Nightmares attacking him. It's strange, okay? Maybe he needs a psychology, Maybe. Until his friend Ansai ended up, finding him, and, well, he lost his vision, basically. And after everything about A, he ended up getting his vision back. We have this guy, Iwakura Mitsunare, who was also with the Shogun army who had an alliance with him. He had a vision, but was taken by the Vision Hunt Decree. Unfortunately, after losing his memory in his mind, we encountered two of his officials, who he sent and were killed, making him more sad, and we ended up fighting him and killing him. Very, very sad, to be honest. And there this guy who is Nobumuri, who had a vision, but he lost it to a competition to Kamisato Ayato. And he just gave it away like that? I mean, okay. Finally, we have our goat, the fishman, goat of Jingshui. This man had a vision, but he decided to throw it away after he did some bad things. And how fuck up that thing he needed to get rid of his vision? I mean, there are children who blast mountains, and then there's child who killed a lot of people, and he decided to leave it. I mean, he also doesn't need it. I mean, he can still one-shot a ruined sentinel by his own, but what the fuck? Okay, man, okay. So yeah, that's basically all the NPCs that we know that had or have a vision. I mean, obviously there are other characters most of the people who were in Watatsumi Island, they also had a vision but were stripped out of them. Other characters, maybe in some cinematics, but most of the times are just speculations about it. These are the characters, we know their names, we know their stories, some of them how they obtain their visions, and others how they lose it. So I think these NPCs who have a vision we should have more, I think. It's very funny seeing how these guys obtain their visions. Also, I love the fact that Rana got her vision. I think other NPCs need it also. So, yeah. Bye bye.